All right, let's talk about something that gets all of us. I'm talking about procrastination. You know, that frustrating, kind of self sabotaging thing we all do. If you've ever found yourself doing literally anything except the one thing you're supposed to be doing, yeah, this is for you. We're going to break down why it really happens, and more importantly, what you can actually do about it.
Does this sound familiar? You've got a massive deadline looming, a huge project is staring you down, but, suddenly the most urgent thing in the entire world is to reorganize your spice rack? Or, just watch one more episode. Just one. Or, finally, clean out that junk drawer. Yeah, if that's hitting a little too close to home, you're in the right place.
And that brings us right to the heart of the issue, what I call the procrastination paradox. See, the whole idea is that everything we think we know about why we put things off, it's probably wrong.
I mean, we've all heard this one, right? Or we've told it to ourselves. I'm just being lazy, or I just don't have enough discipline. We treat it like it's some kind of character flaw. But what if I told you that procrastination has almost nothing to do with being lazy, or even with time management? That's the myth we're going to bust today. So, if it's not about being lazy, then what's the real reason? Well, it turns out it's not a fight against the clock at all. Nope, it's actually an emotional battle, and it's happening inside your own head. So look at this. This completely flips the script on the whole problem, right? Procrastination isn't about avoiding the work, it's about avoiding the bad feelings that come with the work. It's like a quick, short-term emotional patch. Your brain just goes, oof, this feels awful. Let's go do something fun to feel better right now, completely ignoring the fact that we're just making things way more stressful for our future selves. And here are the usual suspects. Maybe the task is just mind-numbingly boring, or it's so difficult it makes you feel frustrated, or worse, totally inadequate. Maybe it's a project you just resent having to do in the first place, or the sheer size of it just fills you with anxiety. Whatever it is, your brain's gut reaction is always the same. Nope, let's get a quick mood boost from something else. To really get this, let's take a quick look at what's going on upstairs. It's basically a classic tug of war between two really important parts of your brain. And this is the battle right here. In one corner, you've got your limbic system. Think of it as the instant gratification monkey. It's ancient, it's impulsive, and its only job is to feel good right this second. And in the other corner, that's your prefrontal cortex, the rational decision maker. That's the part of you that thinks about long-term goals and understands consequences. So when you procrastinate, well, it just means the monkey has grabbed the steering wheel. Okay, so that's the why. We're not lazy, we're just wired to manage these difficult feelings in the easiest way possible at the moment. But that leads us to the most important question, doesn't it? If this is all a battle of feelings, how do we actually fight back and win? Now, winning this thing isn't about suddenly becoming a productivity robot overnight, not at all. It's about using some really simple, really smart strategies to handle those negative feelings and just get started. Okay, this one right here might be the single most powerful trick in the entire anti-procrastination playbook. It's so simple. Just pick that thing you're dreading and tell yourself you only have to do it for 2 minutes. That's it. Anyone can do pretty much anything for 120 seconds. And here's the magic. Once you start, that emotional wall just kind of crumbles, and you'll often find you actually want to keep going. And that's exactly why the 2-minute rule is so effective. It's a total brain hack. You're not focused on finishing, you're just focused on starting. It lowers the emotional stakes so much that the instant gratification monkey doesn't even have time to panic. And once you're moving, it's like basic physics, right? An object in motion stays in motion. It's just so much easier to keep going than it was to start from a dead stop. The 2-minute rule is an amazing start, but let's give your rational decision maker a few more tools for the toolkit. Because let's be real, different tasks and different feelings might require different tactics to win that battle. Okay, first up, task pairing. You just connect something you kind of hate doing, like, folding laundry, with something you love, like listening to a great podcast. It makes the bad task less, bad. Then there's self-forgiveness. This one's huge. Beating yourself up just creates guilt. And guess what? Guilt is another one of those negative feelings our brain wants to avoid. Research actually shows that forgiving yourself for procrastinating makes you less likely to do it next time. And finally, shrink the task. Write a novel sounds impossible, right? But what about write one sentence? Totally doable. You just break a big, scary project into tiny, non-threatening steps. And you know what? At the end of the day, this is the mindset shift that changes everything.
So often we procrastinate because of perfectionism. The anxiety of not doing something perfectly is so intense that we just don't start at all. So forget perfection. Seriously, the real goal is just to make a little bit of progress. That's it.
So I'll just leave you with this one question. Don't think about the enormous project. Don't even think about finishing. Just think about this. What is one tiny 2-minute action you can take right now to get the ball rolling? Because that right there is how the battle is won.